The story. I had always believed that the hardest part of any interstellar assignment was surviving it. Turned out I was wrong. The hardest part was finishing it, only to realize the ending was far more complicated than the mission itself. My name is Commander Elias Ward, Envoy and Xeno-Diplomatic Officer of the United Earth Coalition. My assignment had been simple in theory: travel to the distant world of Eltharian, negotiate a trade and peace agreement, and return home with a signature and a handshake. After 8 months on the planet, we had achieved just that. The mission was officially marked, completed with distinction. I should have known peace was never that simple. Beginning, the mission that should have been simple. Eltharian was unlike any world I had ever stepped on. Towering silver vegetation swayed like liquid metal, and the sky shimmered with a permanent twilight glow, painted by the light of its 2 moons. Gravity was slightly lighter than Earth's, but heavier than Mars, giving every movement a graceful lift. The Eltharians themselves were a marvel, bioluminescent humanoids whose skin glowed in gradients depending on their emotions. You could read a basic mood on their bodies the way humans read expressions. And among them, one stood above all: Queen Seralith, ruler of the luminous court. She was taller than most of her people, elegant in a way that made everyone quiet their steps around her. Where most Eltharians glowed with soft colors, Seralith's aura rippled with shifting galaxies, streaks of indigo, gold, and deep violet. Her presence filled every room with warmth, authority, and something I could never quite describe. When I first arrived on Eltharian, I treated her like any other dignitary. Respectfully, professionally, but without the awe the Eltharians showed her. It was a cultural misstep, but instead of offense, it sparked curiosity. To her I was refreshing. To me, she quickly became unforgettable. But that didn't matter. The mission was the mission. For months I served as the bridge between our species. We resolved territorial misunderstandings, discussed shared technological interests, and mapped out a stable communication network. Everything was progressing perfectly. And finally, after 8 long months, we reached the last ceremonial meeting of the Alliance Treaty. All that remained was for Seralith to place her hand on the official seal, confirming the new era of peace. She pressed her glowing palm against the crystal interface. The treaty lit with blue fire. The hall erupted in applause. The mission was done. I should have been booking my shuttle home. Instead, Seralith approached me with a look I had never seen on her before. Her glow dimmed, her stride careful, almost hesitant. "Elias Ward," she said softly. "Walk with me." There was something in her voice that made my heart stall. I followed her out of the celebration chamber, deeper into the palace than I had ever been allowed. I didn't know it yet, but my life was about to change forever. Middle, the Queen's secret, and the choice I didn't expect. The private wing of the palace was silent except for the hum of crystalline walls. Bioluminescent vines crawled upward, pulsing with colors in rhythm with the Queen's energy. She led me into a room with a single massive, transparent window overlooking the endless glowing forest of Eltharian. "Elias," she said, facing the landscape, "your presence has changed more than you realize." Her glow flickered, an emotional turbulence that only appeared in the most serious of matters. "You think your mission is complete," she continued, "that you will return to your homeworld, giving your report, receiving your commendations." She turned toward me. "But your departure would bring consequences neither of our species can afford." I frowned. "Your Majesty, if there's another dispute or negotiation needed, I can extend my stay." She shook her head. "It is not a matter of diplomacy," she said gently. "It is personal." The air froze around me. "In these months," she admitted, I have seen your honesty, your courage, your refusal to treat me as an untouchable celestial being. You spoke to me as an equal when even my own counsel does not." She stepped closer. "You changed me, Elias." Her glow warmed into deep violet, an Eltharian sign of vulnerability. But then her light shifted again. And this time it frightened me. A bright, piercing white. Pure truth. "There is something you must understand," she said. "Something no human has ever witnessed." She raised her hand, and the room dimmed. Energy pooled around her fingers. Light swirled, forming symbols that rotated in 3 dimensions. A small sphere appeared, floating above her palm, humming with energy. "This is the Heartlink core," she said. "A fragment of our planet's living consciousness. It is bound to the Queen of Eltharis." "And?" I asked quietly. Her eyes held mine with unnerving intensity. "During our months together, it has responded to you." The sphere pulsed once, twice, then released a soft ring like a heartbeat. "It has chosen you," she whispered. I stepped back. "Chosen me for what?" "To become bonded to the Queen." I thought I misheard her. "Bonded?" Croaked. As in a connection deeper than any human vow," she finished. "A psychic, emotional, and spiritual link. Our kind bonds rarely, and only with individuals who resonate with the Heartlink." "That?" I swallowed hard. "Serelith, I didn't do anything to. You were simply yourself," she said. "And the core recognized it." The sphere drifted from her hand, floating toward me like a curious creature. I instinctively stepped back, but it followed. Serelith extended a gentle hand. "I do not force bonds," she said. "But the danger is this. Once the Heartlink chooses a potential bondmate, the planet reacts. If the chosen one leaves before the bond stabilizes, the core destabilizes. And that instability spreads." My stomach dropped. "You're saying my departure could bring harm to your people? To the entire planet?" Her voice trembled faintly. "Yes." A heavy silence filled the room. "So," I said slowly, "you're telling me I can't go home?" Her expression softened painfully. "Not yet. And perhaps not ever." My breath caught. 8 months of longing for Earth, for home, for normalcy. For my own bed, my own sky, my own kind. Unless I broke a bond that kept an entire world alive. "And what happens," I asked quietly, "if I agree to stay?" Serelith stepped closer until she stood only a breath away. "Then the bond completes. Eltharis stabilizes. And..." Her glow deepened into a warm gold. "You take your place at my side, not as a servant, not as a prisoner, but as a partner." The Heartlink sphere chimed softly beside me, vibrating with expectation. A queen waiting for an answer. An entire world's fate resting on my words. I had never felt more unprepared. The turning point. A planet on the brink. That night I couldn't sleep. I walked through the palace halls, watching the pulsing glow of the walls, the carved murals, the gardens illuminated with soft bioluminescent flowers. Every inch of this place reminded me of the weight of the decision waiting for me. Back on Earth I had no spouse, no children, no family left. My last connection was a sister who lived halfway around the world and barely answered messages. My devotion to duty had always consumed my life. But staying on another planet forever, being bound to an alien queen through some ancient energy system, felt impossible. As I walked past one of the outer balconies, I heard soft crying.